Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of a really good podcast. After a little bit of hiatus, Josie and we are back to bring you some of the best entertainment from yesteryear. Man, we got a big show tonight. We're going to be going over some 90s, maybe some with a little hint of 2000s in the world of music.
I can't help myself.
So we're gonna be getting down with that tonight, and I'm happy that all of you are here to join us with that. But first, Josie, you wanted to say something about the show tonight?
Yeah, so I don't know who follows us on our network on the Sports Report, but I mean, if you've seen us on any show, you pretty much know me and Will are giant wrestling fans. Will is like a wrestling encyclopedia, can pull up moments from wrestling that'll just blow you away, from indie shows here in Texas to just random stuff. But anyway, if you are a wrestling fan, you know that recently we lost Jay Briscoe, one half of the ROH Tag Team Champions, and he would have been 39 today, matter of fact. And they just did a tribute show to that, or a tribute match to that. And I got to say, if you ever wanted to understand why people watch wrestling, go watch that match. I was literally in tears during that match. Like, the emotion that those two men put on in that ring. Well, there's not many matches, even with your mind, that I bet you can think of. That there's very few that just, the one that comes to my head first off is Flair HBK.
Mm-hmm.
Flair HBK retiring Flair.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's a big one. Everybody will always remember, I'm sorry, goodbye, super kick. It was just one of those matches that, like, you can go into it knowing nothing about wrestling, and it's gonna make you feel something. That's all I wanted to say. I'm excited for this show.
All right, let's go ahead and get started with some of the greatest bands of the 90s. A group a lot of us, I'm sure, had grown up on. Let's go with Nirvana.
I knew that's where you were going to start this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as far as rock and punk, I would say, as far as the 90s go, like,
kind of Nirvana's 87 to 94, but
yeah, but they really took off in 91.
There. Yep.
And then when he killed himself in 94, kind of launched them into a different stratosphere. I would say they were kind of one of the soundtracks of the 90s, at least on the rock side. Like, and then you got to also think of what they led into. If you don't have Nirvana, you don't have Dave Grohl. If you don't have Dave Grohl, you don't have shit. Now that name is gonna go away. Wow, hang on. Foo Fighters.
Yeah.
You don't have Foo Fighters. So, and wasn't a giant Nirvana fan back in the day, but
I didn't get into them till later.
Yeah. And then also 90s music is weird for me because in the 90s I was between 1 and 10.
You're like a baby.
I'm sorry, you 50-year-old man.
You're like a baby, man. You were like a baby in the 90s.
Literally. Yeah, just definitely a tragic story, but
yeah.
Kurt Cobain was an amazing writer, and music that you'll still hear played on the radio today.
Yep. Let's go with another one. Let's go with Green Day.
Oh, what you get? You in a punk vibe today? So there is a band that I know I could talk a little bit more about, because Green Day may have started early 90s, 94?
They debuted, I think, 87, and then finished up around, I think they debuted and then finished up around 94, 95.
No, you're talking Nirvana.
Nirvana, I'm sorry. Green Day started in 87.
Really? 87?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Since 87. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay, so I would say Green Day really hit popularity. American Idiot. Like, if you're going to talk about Green Day, you got to talk about that album. American Idiot was the album, and I think that was 2002 or 3, I believe.
Mm.
Um, and then September Ends, amazing song. One of the songs I really enjoy from then. Um, but they're that's almost like they're almost have gotten that title of a generational band.
Yeah.
Because for people like my age, like I know a lot of people who that's been one of their favorite bands since they were in high school.
All right, let's keep this thing going. Pearl Jam.
Man, I'm doing the next one.
Okay.
Because like we're switching roles tonight.
I like Pearl Jam. I like Pearl Jam.
I do. I've seen them live.
Wow, really? I never got a chance.
I saw them at ACL 6 or 7 years ago.
Wow, I never got a chance to see them live.
Really good. I mean, really good band. Not someone like I was super into, but puts on a great show.
Yeah.
And it's another one that you'll hear their music on the radio still played today.
Especially down here in the South.
That's yes.
We still get a lot of them.
All right, Will. I got one for you.
Okay.
One of the, I would say they're in the top 10 of hip hop groups. Outkast.
Oh, yes.
Yes. I mean, yes. you got to think of the discography.
That's almost the foundation.
As far as like groups, as far as like hip hop groups, yes, I gotta totally agree with you there. Like, and it's you got to look at that discography because, they've had so many amazing hits. Rosa Parks. I'm sorry, Miss Jackson. I am for real.
I actually dated somebody who had that last name.
Well, I've actually seen them in concert at the same ACL. Now that
damn, I've never get a chance.
Dude,
I never got a chance to see
talk about. And then also, like this one, like Outkast for me is very iconic because like I grew up listening when I kind of got into that age. For people who don't know, I have a theory that you kind of form your musical identity about the age of 12 to 14. That's when you kind of decide what you want to listen to or what sounds good to you. I fully believe that age of music will stay with you for a lifetime.
I agree. And like I never got a chance to see him live. Never.
Oh, dude, such a good show. Like, I mean, Andre 3000 is just don't get me wrong, Big Boy is fabulous rapper, but Andre is just so freaking talented
and still relevant this day.
Yeah. So freaking talented. And I mean, you got a speaker box in the Love Below. Like, we talk about that album. It came out in 2003, and it was a 2-set album. So you had basically the Big Boy side, which was the speakers box.
Yep.
And then the Andre 3000 side, which is the Love Below. And Andre definitely had more of a R&B vibe to him because he could rap and sing. But no one, I mean, people, I would say that kids in their 20s knows the song Roses.
Oh, hell yeah.
I mean,
hell yeah.
It's this generation's West Side Story in Greece. Like, and then shake it like a Polaroid picture. and then Hey Ya. Like, all of those songs and the way you move, all of those songs came off Speaker Box and Love Below.
Yep.
Like, as far as the 2000s, those were iconic songs. Like, iconic. Those were the songs in my high school or my middle school years. Like, woo, man.
My oldest wants to join in. I just sent him the link.
All
You
right.
haven't met, you haven't met my
I
oldest
don't
boy
think
yet.
so.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Outkast just and it's like you said, or like we said, like easily top 10 in hip hop groups. Um, I always kind of wanted to see. I always thought that Andre would have had an amazing solo career, but he went more of the acting route.
He went more the
Don't,
acting role.
don't get me wrong. Another
He's a good
thing,
actor.
he's a good actor. You
Yeah.
ever seen Four Brothers?
I never saw Four Brothers,
Oh, dude.
but I saw the one. I saw the one. I can't remember the name of it. I saw the one he did with Dwayne.
Dude, you need to watch Four Brothers. So it's
I haven't seen Four Brothers.
Him, Mark Wahlberg, and Tyrese. And then I don't know who plays the fourth brother. I can't remember his name. But man. And then I mentioned another one. So a lot of people on here probably don't know. Tyrese was a singer before he was an actor.
Oh yeah, I heard that.
Dude, I went back and listened. He has a song called One, and it's just singing about get down on one knee and one ring, and it's proposing to his girl. And I love me some R&B. I do. And like you talking 90s music, it's Brian McKnight, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Brian McKnight.
You remember Brian McKnight? You remember Brian McKnight did that episode of Martin when him and Jenny got married?
But you got one, I'll make a dream come true. Two, I just wanna be. And then, bro, here I'm gonna give you one right here and now.
Oh my goodness.
So from the time I was like 9-10 years old, something like that, I always said this would be a song I danced my wife with, and I did. It didn't work out, but I did.
Yeah.
Casey and JoJo, All My Life.
Remember that?
Oh,
yep.
Dude, I love my life.
I remember that. Yep.
I pray for someone
like you.
And I thank God that I finally found you.
Oh man, that's when music was. Back
in the 90s, dude,
80s, I think the 80s, the 90s, and the 2000 and the early part of the 2000s
until the 2010s. 2007, 2008, 2009 even had some really, because that was the age of Lil Wayne. Yep. That was the age of Eminem.
Yep.
Like, you really want to get into it. There's some great, but after that, like, now especially the hip hop.
Now you got everybody trying to sound like Migos.
Or Kendrick. Like, I prefer to go with the better version. That's Kendrick. To me, everybody's been trying to copy Kendrick for 10 years.
Yeah. Or Migos.
I was never a fan of them.
The hell?
I remember when I was wanting to go into producing, I had a guy come to me and he's like, I want Migos beats. I went and looked up what Migos was because I had never heard of them. And I was like, what the fuck is this?
And then you listen to the music and it's like, what?
I can't stand mumble rap. I can't.
I don't get the art. And maybe that's me just being old, but I don't get the art.
I don't. Like, to me, like, one of the greatest MC lyricists of all time, other than like, and Will knows, I am a diehard Eminem fan. In that same ACL I've been talking about, I saw Eminem live that year. And that was number one on my concert bucket list. Dude, I was in a crowd of over 1,000 people, and I swear I was the only one in that crowd. Like, it was just, it's one of those concerts. It's just transcending because, like, I was an outcast in school. Eminem was my guy.
Yep.
But dude, Common, one of the greatest lyricists of all time. Common, like, he's just. I love music.
He did.
Speaks.
I forgot who did it with him, but he did a Coca-Cola commercial. It was nothing but like a minute long, but I forgot what the he
I
did.
remember the commercial. I can't remember who was with him.
I can't remember the chick. But it was an awesome commercial. It was like only a minute and 1 second. But in that minute and 1 second, you just saw greatness at that point. Okay. All right, here we go.
Hey.
What's up, man?
What's up, man? It took me longer than I thought to get in here.
You cool. What's going on with you, man?
Not much, man.
This is Josie. I don't think you guys have met yet.
Hey, what's going on?
How's it going?
All right. We talking 90s and 2000s music is what we talking about.
Okay.
We just mentioned Common.
Common was good.
And what we were talking about is we kind of were getting into like how the 90s and 2000s music just hit differently. Like whether it be a big old pop song, I'm sure here in a little bit we're going to get to talking about like Britney Spears and stuff like that. But the way the music just hit, but especially the hip hop and R&B before you got into the mumble rap era, like it was just so good.
Now,
Humana.
I can't say for mumble rap was a trend that shouldn't have happened. It was an accident born out of SoundCloud.
Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, that wasn't good. It was going to define music, but not for very long.
No, thank God.
Yep.
But now, I mean, you still got guys like Lil Baby.
You got everybody trying to sit. You still got people trying to bite off that sound.
Well, here's the thing about Lil Baby. There are songs where he's not mumbling. There's songs where he enunciates. Like I listen to Ramen and OJ quite frequently, and that is a very good song where you hear Lil Baby actually rap, and I'm like, oh, he actually rap. It's just he was doing what was popular because he needed the money. I don't blame him.
Them bills, boy. Them bills come due. But yeah, we just talked about Carmen. He did a commercial. I forgot. I think it was with Ava.
Eve?
Huh?
Was it with Eve?
No, it wasn't Eve. I can't remember her name. But just that minute and 1 second commercial was awesome from him. Love Common as a singer.
So I was looking at this list here. So, also in that 90s era, TLC.
Yep.
I mean, Waterfalls, great song. No Scrubs, great song. Then got to talk about a one-hit wonder here, but this is a one-hit wonder that this one song has made it through 3 different decades. Wonderwall by Oasis.
You know what? I forgot about that.
Me too.
You'll still hear that played on the radio to this day, and like you'll still hear that in some club when they're like right before all the music starts and everything, like, or at a wedding, like that song's gonna get played.
Oh, my fault. I just found it. Myra. The one it was him and Common that did that Coke commercial. It was a minute and 1 second, but that minute and 1 second was awesome.
Yeah, I think let's see, my favorite rap group in R&B from the 90s. I really wasn't allowed to listen to much of it. This was the time I was living with mom, and she didn't let me listen to a lot of it.
Man, I will say Troop was more like in the 80s. More like in the 80s.
I think it was
and fly away.
I don't know. I think the first time I heard "Lose Yourself" by Eminem.
Okay, so we're gonna get back on this for a second. We just talked about how old are you?
I'm 29.
So you and I are close. So I'm 34, and I grew up. My dad listened to a lot of 70s, 60s, 70s rock. My mom listened to a lot of country. But then when I discovered my musical identity, I really got into R&B and hip hop. And it started off with like Brian McKnight and Casey and JoJo and things like that. But then in the early 2000s, my uncle got the Eminem Mathers LP1. Oh my God. Changed my life.
Mm-hmm.
That entire album. Hi, my name is. Hi,
my name is.
Well, what I liked about that album specifically was it opened, everybody's had their start with other, like, Eminem was my first genuine foray into rap, and I was a stan for like the next 10 years after that.
Same. Yeah. He led me down that path of Genuine, and that's what led me into Lil Wayne and like all of those guys. If it hadn't been for M, I would have never gotten into hip hop as heavy as I did. And I'm one of those guys that I still don't think the man has put out a bad album. People can criticize all the time. I think Kill Shot was good. I think and everything that he's done, like, are they different? Yes.
Yeah.
But
well, I mean, here's the thing. He's actively one of the only artists that has had a career in hip hop for so long. Him and Wayne do this all the time. They have to actively check their lyrics to say they haven't said anything before.
Yes, 100% agreed. And it's also, they've done something that other artists don't necessarily do, and that is they have evolved. They constantly are changing who they are as artists and becoming a different version of this amazing artist. And I honestly, I watched him get inducted into the Hall of Fame this year, and it was emotional for me because, like, I've followed this man's career from the very beginning. I'll never forgot about Dre. Like, I mean, the first time I heard
even then, I don't want to vibe check another stand or outdate another stand. You could tell even on the Infinite EP, he was going to be something.
Yeah. Oh yes,
Yeah.
Even if Jimmy Iovine hadn't gotten his demo and given it to Dre, like, M would have been something. Now, without Dre, he wouldn't have been as big as he is.
He wouldn't have been a cultural influence without Dre. Yeah. But he would have been gone on.
He would have been
like
something still. Hero,
Yeah.
Maybe one of the best battle rappers of all time. Like, he'd have probably broken that. But had it not been for Dre, he would have never had the impact that he's had over a generation. And, like, God, I could talk about Eminem this entire show.
Same. Matter of fact, I was one of the number one Eminem trivia players on this app I used to be on. I was
I was telling your dad a couple of years ago, I got to see him live at ACL. Ooh. And just, like, it meant so much to me because, like, I listened to him because of what he talks about, because I was an outcast. I was different. I didn't fit in with everybody else, and that's what Eminem was. He was an outcast. He didn't fit in, and, like, I so much love that. And oh God, I'm telling you, if I don't stop, I'll talk about him all day.
Oh yeah, we get, but that's the cool thing about music is that there's an artist you connect to, and then you can talk forever, and that's the great thing about it.
Oh yeah.
I could talk music forever, period. Yeah. But when you get into guys like Eminem or Michael Jackson, who I almost idolize for their contribution to music, Prince. Like, I can go on for hours.
Whose dad came up with the Batman theme, by the way?
Yeah. Really? I did not know that.
His dad did the original Batman theme. The Batman. I was his dad.
That's awesome.
That was his dad.
That's something I didn't know today. Okay, cool.
That's his dad.
I was today years old.
But there's a lot, man. There's a lot. And I was just about to say before you jumped on, Hunter, music back then, up to 2010, to me, just meant more.
It said more.
Yeah. It just meant more, said more than music of today.
Well, here's my take on that, because I didn't really start listening to music and thought about musical identity until I moved back, until I got out of the situation I was in. So it's like anything from 2005 to 2016 was kind of that era for me, because I didn't discover what rock music was until I was like 10 years old.
Right.
I was listening to boy bands and R&B and a bunch of shit just because my mom was listening to it.
She was listening to it.
I was the same way. Like I listened to a lot of Hanson, and don't get me wrong, I'll still jam out to some Bop. I will still.
Bop was the only song I knew from Hanson.
That whole album, I listened to front and back several times, and at one point could probably sing you the whole thing.
Okay, so let's get into a debate. I want to do a debate real quick. And this was what me and all my boys were talking about. Who was better, Christina Aguilera or Britney Spears?
I gotta say, in that age, in that time frame,
had to be Britney, right?
It was Britney, who has grown better and still continued to give us great music and be a megaphone for the music. Christina is more, I feel she's been more generationally dominant. Britney, because of everything she went through with the conservatorship and going crazy and all that, like her music career kind of stalled, where Christina still put out an album every decade.
I can say a lot though. When I saw Britney first meet when Britney and Michael Jackson first met, and she came out there with that little mini skirt. Woo! What do you think, Hunter? Who was better?
I was always more partial to Christina just because I was like, I don't know. I just didn't like the fact that they were, I don't know. Even then, when I was younger, I felt like they were trying to pimp Britney out to me.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Making her own decisions, and I was kind of like, I'm not really into this. Now, Christina, you could tell, she kind of had some input on what she wanted.
She was more edgy than Britney. She was definitely more edgy.
What was that movie she played in?
Oh, dude,
because I know Christine was in a movie with Cher.
Oh, Burlesque.
Yes,
great movie.
Great
movie.
Yes, it was
great movie.
Yes, I remember that.
But you bring up that debate.
You can't mention. You got to mention the Moulin Rouge that kind of tried to steal the thunder of Burlesque. And Burlesque was better.
That's true.
Burlesque was better. So you bring up that debate. Well, we got to have like the debate that everybody had in the early 90s, 2000s. Backstreet Boys are in sync.
Oh.
I was a Backstreet Boys fan. I gotta say, I was more Backstreet Boys than NSYNC. I will say, going back now, I think NSYNC was better.
Right.
But yeah, Backstreet Boys was always my jam.
Let's see.
Everybody.
Yeah, that wasn't bad. I think for me, I had to have been. I think it could have been Backstreet Boys for me because I heard them the most. They were everywhere. Then NSYNC came on the scene, and I was like, okay, I kind of like what you're doing. And then you realize, wait, you guys are both the same thing, just heads and tails of the same coin. Okay,
right. I got another debate. And this is going to be more for you. Hunter can chime in. Paula Abdul, Janet Jackson.
See, that was a little before my time, but I'd have to go Janet. I'd have to go Janet too, just because I don't know that much about Paula Abdul other than American Idol. That's what she was doing. To me, Paula was always a better dancer than she was a singer.
She did one good video to me.
Yeah.
That cat video, and that was about it that she really did. That cat video.
Damn.
The one that Peter Griffin plays off of. Which is hilarious as hell.
I got to bring this man up because I want, especially with all the drama he's going through right now, I feel like we should be getting a new album from this man, and I want it because it's been like 15 years. Will motherfucking Smith.
Yeah.
Well, he was doing I was following him on YouTube a couple years ago, and he's starting to re-record new music. He's starting to tour again. He even brought back Jazzy Jeff to help him with the
I know. And then I thought maybe now with what his acting career a little bit on the low, maybe we might get that new album. So I'm hoping because
it's got so Will's got so many good songs. Summertime.
So many summertime.
Men in
Jiggy,
Black.
Miami,
Jiggy
Men in
Witty.
Black, Wild Wild West.
Yeah.
I mean, the list goes on and on and
I was kind of hoping for another Bad Boys before it happened.
Oh, it's coming. It's coming this year.
Okay.
It's coming this year.
I was definitely looking for another Bad Boys.
And yeah, Will was such. He's like we were saying before. Will, like, he's an amazingly talented lyricist. Never cusses in his songs, but always, whether it be a dance beat or he trying to say something, just the two of us. His rendition of just the two of us.
I heard that.
So damn good.
Yep.
100% agree.
100%.
He's got like, I don't know. He came along where he came along at a time where rap needed the positive exposure.
Yes.
Other than what everybody was other than the negative stuff that was going on at the same time as him being out there. Yeah. And yet and still he did it in a way that wasn't corny.
Even though I will always love Eminem's line, Will Smith doesn't have to cups in his rap, but I do. So fuck him and fuck you too.
So I got another one. Big Luther or Little Luther?
You talking about Luther Vandross?
Luther Vandross. Big Luther or Little Luther?
Again, you're getting out of my time frame.
You're getting out of the 90s.
I'm getting out of the 90s, more in the 80s, but I think it was Big Luther.
I mean,
Big Luther.
But again, it was Big Luther because if you didn't have like sexual healing, like you wouldn't have had Brian McKnight. You wouldn't have had the 90s R&B, All for One.
Yeah.
Which also those Black Street.
Yep, love Black Street.
Love seeing some Black Street. But those guys led into groups like NSYNC and Will Smith and
then you got Boys to Men in that same conversation.
I've seen them too. Seen them in concert. Oh my God, so
Boys
good.
Man, boy, amazing.
And even then, you could say they were more inspired by the Belle Biv DeVoes and the cameos.
Poison.
Yep.
Poison. Oh,
I love that song. I dance to it every time it comes on.
You see me break out my white moves.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, though.
Getting down, still getting down.
But also, like,
ain't nothing wrong with that, though.
I've listened to R&B and hip hop and that for so long. Like, I do have a little bit of rhythm to it because, like, when you listen to that music repeatedly, and it, like, I think I said this before you got here, but like that musical identity sticks with you. Like what you form from like 12 to 17, as far as what you like, you will listen that for the rest of your life because it's comforting. It's what all your music identity is, even to now, comes from that time frame. Like at least that's my theory.
Well, I mean, they've done studies on your music, and the formative years between 12 and 13 is when you start to really form your taste in it. Right. So what you're listening to before then is mostly,
what your parents are listening to.
Yeah. Yep. And then once then that's why everybody's like, why'd you switch up all of a sudden? Why are you listening to such and such? And your behavior's changing because it's like you're taking on another identity at that time.
Right.
And don't get me wrong. Oh, where you going? Go ahead, Will.
I was about to say, what did you guys think about Jamie Foxx?
I like Jamie. I think Jamie's super talented. I think his early 2000s stuff with Twista was some of his best things.
Yep.
But his 90s music wasn't amazing. But
it wasn't bad, but
it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
I didn't know he made music in the 90s. Wow. Okay. Another something I just learned now. Okay.
Oh yeah. I had
he had albums out before he got the Jamie Foxx show.
Okay.
Right after when he was coming out of In Living Color, that's when he started making albums.
Okay, so I got one for y'all because I get a lot of flack for this. Destiny's Child or TLC?
Oh.
I prefer.
That's tough.
Damn, you just.
That's tough.
Stump.
Yeah, Destiny's Child for me.
It's got it. Nah, I'm gonna go different. It's gotta be TLC for me.
I will go with Destiny's Child as the group. I, however, am not a Beyonce fan.
Yeah, I don't get Beyonce.
I don't understand her extreme popularity, and like to me, like she hasn't really had a good song since "Crazy in Love."
I'm gonna do this without sounding too political. You know why she is popular as she is? Because she gives you that single woman mindness.
Oh,
you can do this. You don't need no man. You don't need no husband. But yet and still go back and see, who did you marry?
Yeah, yeah.
Who did you
actually
marry?
work.
I
You just blew all you
TikTok about
that whole message you just said right there. You just blew it out the water by who you married.
And then he cheats on you, and you still stayed with him.
And you still stayed with him.
Because at the end of that day, that relationship, a lot of relationships in Hollywood are just based on money, no matter what it is.
Yep.
So, I got to touch on some female lyricists real quick.
Okay.
Missy Elliott.
You could say, she's almost a GOAT. Almost.
Oh,
almost a GOAT.
She's top 10.
Oh, almost a
top
GOAT.
10 in hip hop, period.
Yep.
No gender involved.
Yep.
As far as ladies, you got her, you got Lil' Kim.
Lil' Kim went to jail for not snitching.
Lauryn Hill.
Shout out to her. Oh man. What happened to her? She did that last album and then she dropped off Earth.
I think Biggie. I think the Biggie thing hit her really hard.
Kind of hard.
I think it was just not the same after Biggie.
Yeah.
Lauryn Hill was incredible.
That thing.
Yep. She was amazing.
What were you saying about Missy?
She almost a GOAT, man.
Yeah, like I said, as far as female, like I think she is the GOAT, like truly. And then she knew when it was done.
Yep.
When she was done, she was done.
She'll do some cameos every now and then.
She'll do some cameos. I loved seeing her at the Super Bowl a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing I've always liked about Missy is Missy was genuine with who she was.
100% herself.
Yep.
One of the first people, as a non-binary person, like one of the first people that made me realize, like, you can be whoever you want to be. Like, because Missy dressed like a dude, like straight up, always had the baggy shorts, always wearing a fresh pair of J's, a fresh jersey, and looking fly as fuck.
Mm-hmm. And the thing I've liked about Missy was, it's like you could tell that the music that she made it for. It wasn't just tailored to females. Yeah, females got down with it, but if you was a dude, you were equally respected for listening to it because it was good. Good music is just good music.
This give me and this next one might be before y'all's time. I'll say it anyway. Erykah Badu.
I think that's a little bit for me.
It was a little bit.
The only thing I know about Erykah Badu is that's where a man's career goes to die.
That's true.
She's a great artist, though.
No, any man that's gotten involved with Erykah Badu has not had a career past Erykah Badu.
That's true.
Same quality, same staying power.
That's true. But she was a great artist, man.
Yeah. Yeah, but I just want to get that the empirical fact out of the way.
What about In Vogue?
Oh yeah.
I can't say anything there. That's.
Oh yeah, I can. Yeah, they were straight.
And then let's get on the rock for a second. So, Red Hot Chili Peppers.
I was gonna bring them up.
Or Beastie Boys.
Okay. Flea is the best bassist of all time.
Bassist of all time.
Yeah, he is the best bassist of all time. He is the GOAT of bass playing. But the thing is, we can't count out the Beastie Boys because they had one of the best producers of all time.
That's true.
Rick Rubin. So I mean,
that's true.
Yeah, but I don't turn either of them off. If one comes on before the other, I don't skip. I just listen to the songs in order.
And then Soundgarden, Black Hole Sun.
Love Soundgarden.
Won't you come?
Love Soundgarden back in the day.
It took me till I was older, but yeah, I enjoy some Soundgarden.
You know what? The only country song the only two country songs I've ever listened to in my life was two: Boot Scoot and Boogie and Rascal Flatts.
See,
down by Broken Road. Only two country songs I've ever heard in my life. I'm 51. I ain't never heard of more country songs other than them two.
Man, okay, so let me school you on some country songs as somebody who's lived in the country. Give me a minute.
I was gonna say I'm right there with you because I got my country from my mama, so I listened to some country. I was about to hit him with some Tim McGraw.
I know Tim McGraw.
Right. You need to hit him with the Tim McGraw song called Victoria's Secret.
Yes! Or Jacob's Ladder.
Yeah,
I've only heard two country songs in my life.
Yep, you got to do Whiskey for My Men and Beer for My Horses. You got to do
that one. And then Alan Jackson's When Daddy Let Me Drive.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Yep. And
then
you could do like some other stuff. You could do Willie Nelson was still active at that time. Was still active in the mid 2000s.
Willie and Toby Beer for My Horses. Willie. What was the song they did? Was it Beer for My Horses?
No, that was
That's Tim
McGraw.
Yeah, no, it's not Tim McGraw. That was
it was.
Was it?
Yeah, I thought it was. I could be wrong. We got
looking it up.
Yeah, man. We gotta look this up. We gotta get our sources together. Yes.
Toby Keith, yeah, Toby Keith.
Toby Keith and Willie Nelson, Beer for My Horses, because they did the movie to go along with that, which funny movie. But yeah, I love me some Willie. Like Willie's one of those like. He's been around so long. He's touched so many generations of music.
Mm-hmm.
And as someone who lives in Austin, like he still does shows.
Wow.
And then who else was it? I know Cash was getting reactive at that time because Rick Rubin sought him out for his label. And Cash was like, I don't want to work with nobody. I don't want to work with no big city slicker. And he sat down with Rick Rubin and was like, okay, yeah, I want to make some albums with this guy.
I mean, you're going to bring up Johnny Cash. We got to talk about Hurt. Like, one of the greatest songs of all time. And for a band like 9 Inch Nails to say, that's not our song anymore.
Yep.
Like, that's Johnny's song. That's Johnny's song. And they're 100% correct. Because after Johnny did it,
nobody, they don't want to touch it anymore.
You can't touch it.
Yeah, he did the definitive version of that song.
Like the emotion. He had just lost June. Like the emotion that came out in that song. And I think Johnny also knew like he was about to go too. And so he was like, this is my goodbye. This is it. I'm done. Like soon after this song releases, if I'm here when it releases, I won't be long after. And
yeah, because that was his last album. That was his last album, unfortunately.
Speaking of going out, I just wanted we weren't here to touch on it, but rest in peace, Lisa Marie Presley. Passed away a week ago? About a week and a half ago, passed away. So rest in peace, Lisa Marie Presley.
Mm-hmm.
Man,
58.
She was performing too.
Yep.
She to me just wasn't that talented. She kind of got her deals and stuff for her name more who her daddy was.
Kind of like Charlotte. Okay.
Damn. Anyway, I'm not here to slander anybody's career unless we get to Insane Clown Posse. I'm not here to slander careers.
You're not a juggalo? You're not a juggalo.
No, well, the thing is, I'm just not a fan of their brand of juggalo. I'm just not, even though they originated it, they're not the best to even do it.
I've heard that. I do like some of their songs. There's a couple of their songs I really enjoy. Friends was a really good song. I really like that song.
Mm-hmm. And then all their collaborations that they did
have been really good.
You got Dark Lotus. You had Psychopathic Riders. Then the groups that came up under them, you had Twisted, which were best friends with Eminem, joined Psychopathic instead. They knew Proof just as much as him. So yeah, you have them. They're good. They're still doing their thing. They got their own label now. So that whole era of music, yeah, they got great people. It's just I'm just not down with the clown. I'm down with the clown, but not down with the clown. I respect them for doing what they did, but I'm not,
Right.
Some of their views are really out there. Really,
yeah, you gotta. You're trying to sound profound by asking how magnets work. Get the fuck out of here. That's like elementary.
The freaking Cranberries, Zombie, Linger.
Hadn't heard that name in forever. Haven't heard that name in forever.
Yeah, the Cranberries were really good. I gotta give it to them because every time I gotta listen to them every time.
I love Linger is one of my favorite songs. You just have to let it linger. Her voice is just so different. There'll never be anybody like her ever again. And I even really enjoyed. I don't like Bad Wolf. I'm not a fan of their lead singer, but the cover they did of Zombie a few years ago, especially right after she passed and everything, was so good.
Can we give Hootie and the Blowfish some love?
Man, aren't they from Augusta?
Yes.
The main one is the main
Darius Rucker.
From Augusta. No wonder why they're always here in town performing shows. Mm-hmm. We gotta get them out of here.
He's from I want to be with you.
Man, get out of here. Go nobody like that.
I gotta say, I like Darius solo more than I like Hootie and the Blowfish.
Yeah, the band is talented. It's just not him. I don't like him.
See, I like his country music. I think it's pretty damn good.
Yeah, the country music is good. I just don't like.
You just don't like the person.
What turns you off with Darius?
It's just like, I don't know. It sounds preachy, even though he's trying to be. I don't know. It's just so dad rock, and I'm like,
oh, it's very dad rock.
I'm at the age where I should like Hootie and the Blowfish, and I don't like Hootie and the Blowfish. That's sad.
I mean, Hootie and Blowfish, the one your dad was just singing, it answers the question. Every 90s rock song can be sang without vowels.
Yep.
Just like Ted said.
Yep.
Every 90s rock song can be sang without vowels. Sinead O'Connor, Will.
Oh, I remember that. That takes me back to the day.
Madonna and Vogue.
Oh, it takes me back to the day.
As far as my rock music library goes, that's huge. I got into rock is exactly what I needed after being exposed to boy bands and all that other crap ever.
So, who's your favorite rock band?
Favorite rock band. Before they broke up, it was My Chemical Romance, and I was kind of like upset about that.
I love me some My Chem.
I was upset about that because for the fact is that they disappeared. They were like superheroes. They had a fantastic run, and then all of a sudden, yeah, we're gonna quit and become dads and do other things.
Yep.
And I'm like,
well, seriously? You hear about Panic at the Disco? He did the same thing yesterday. He
called it quits.
They called it quits.
Damn.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, Brandon was like the only original guy left.
Yeah.
Everybody else had left the band a long time ago, and he kept it going.
He's having a kid, so he said, "I'm done."
One of my favorites was because of Madden. That's Disturbed.
I mean,
David Draymond. Let's talk about that.
Because I've never heard of Disturbed before. So I started playing that year's version of Madden, and then when they was playing it just as a halftime song, and I sort of kind of liked the guitar, so I worked more into it. And Disturbed had a few, I think 2 good hits that I liked.
See, one of the first bands I ever listened to outside of my parents was System of a Down. I've seen them in concert 3 different times.
Lucky.
Every album
Lucky
that they've come out with, I've listened to the entire album multiple times. I can feel it in my bones. I'm about to go through another System of a Down re-listen, because I do that. And I was just talking to my brother. He does that on a regular basis with like System and My Kim and Hunter. I'm an emo kid. Like I'm an emo kid.
Same.
Oh,
straight.
he was too.
New wave, dark wave. Yeah.
So like My Kim, Simple Plan, Brand New, Good Charlotte. Like I could go on on this list.
Yeah, then you could go your Midwestern emo if you want to. Hawthorne Heights is the easiest one for Midwestern.
Are you talking Hawthorne Heights? Yes, Nikki FM. Love that song.
Yep. Standing outside your window with my radio.
Oh yes,
yep,
so great.
Yep.
So great. Let's not forget, I Can't Make It on My Own because my
I can't make it on my own.
And that song doesn't track well because what's Ohio?
I was just living in Ohio, and I tell you, it's nothing.
No, he just got back from Georgia. Just got back from there.
Moved back from Ohio.
Hey y'all. Hey, I'm shocked no one brought this up as of yet. Spice Girls.
Well, here's the thing about Spice Girls. S Club 7 was better than Spice Girls, but no one said anything.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. You right.
They even had their own TV show, Spice Girls. Where was yours at?
Yes.
The Powerpuff Girls was the closest I got to a Spice Girls TV show, and it wasn't even about them.
Nope.
Yes. I loved me some.
The remake sucked, but the remake sucked, but the original was still OG.
I love me some S Club 7. It was so good. So good.
Yeah, hey, Hunter, you know this too. What happened to Dragon Force?
Dragon Force is still going. They're
still going. Okay.
Herman Lee, the guitarist, he's got his own YouTube channel and everything. They're still making albums.
Because I still listen to Through the Fire and the Flames to this day.
Man, there's so much more than that now. Fire and the Flames has survived so long that it's become its own meme.
Wow.
So yeah, they've got other music out. It's worth seeking out.
Cool.
Yeah.
And if you like Dragon Force, there's other bands that are similar.
Similar to them.
Yeah, there's some others similar bands to Dragon Force. There's I think Beast and Black is really good. They're a lot of power metal. But that's the genre of music that Dragon Force is in. So if you want to check out power metal,
I want to hit just quickly on the 2000s real quick. White Stripes.
Why does that name sound familiar?
Yeah, White Stripes. They did what is it? Seven Nation Army. Trying to think. The vocalist has another band called The Dead Weather.
Yes, really it's Jack White.
Yep.
Gnarls Barkley, Crazy came out in 06. Cry Me a River.
Cry Me a River is my favorite Justin Timberlake song. I don't need anything else. Sexy Back, you have that. I don't need it.
Well,
I don't need it.
Cry Me a River.
It was Timberlake and Timberland could not put a bad song out. When those two were making music together, like it was magic.
Yeah, because you had a veteran artist that knew what he wanted, and you had a veteran producer that knew not to get in the artist's way, and that just worked.
Were you a Gorillaz fan, Hunter?
Oh yeah, I was big into the Gorillaz, man. Still am.
Same. I keep wanting, like, I know it was supposed to happen like in 2020, but then like the pandemic held it up. Supposedly we're supposed to be getting a Gorillaz tour at some point. Like,
I think that's still coming. They're just releasing more music now than anything, because I know they've had another project drop within the last couple months.
We missed one in the emo category too. Fallout Boy.
Fallout Boy. I'm the only person that when Dance Dance comes on at work, I know it by heart and will sing it by heart. Like, and it's like there's some parts where you can't understand what he's saying, and I'm like, no, I understand. I understand it perfect. Here, quick story. When I was like 15,
my mom worked for Whataburger, and she used to get me tickets to this twice-a-year music festival that the radio station put on. And I went and I saw Fall Out Boy perform. Crazy thing about Fall Out Boy is their lead singer does not speak during the shows. The guitarist does all the speaking, kind of plays up the crowd, everything. He dared two guys to climb this light pole that was in the middle of the crowd, and they got arrested for it, and they went and bailed their asses out.
Yeah, that was good. As far as emo goes, then you can go into the harder emo stuff. You can go into Black Girl Brides, Escape the Fate, Bullet for My Valentine, even though they were more core.
Bullet for My Valentine.
Yep.
I heard that in a minute.
What is it? They were now fun
Kings
fact,
of
that
Leon.
wasn't the original name of that band. It was Jeff Killed John instead of Bullet for My Valentine. Then they changed it, which I don't know why. Jeff Killed John sounds funnier because it implies an inside joke.
Right.
Kings of Leon or 2008.
Kings of Leon were good.
I loved Kings of Leon.
And I couldn't go anywhere without my morning jacket when I woke up.
Real quick, so even though he went nuts and crazy, one of the best albums of all time, and you can fight me on this, was College Dropout.
You know what? I can tell you this. Kanye's production on College Dropout is masterful. It's some of his best work. Because he's one of the few rappers that can produce his own album, and he doesn't miss on College Dropout. He just doesn't.
There wasn't a bad song on College Dropout, and and the thing is I will fully, till the day I die, say the moment that man's mama's died, he lost it, and he'll never be back to what he was. He's just, his mama was his grounding.
Yep, it was his grounding, and the fact he married a Kardashian and got the Kardashian curse. Yes, it's similar to the Madden curse, but it affects you a lot longer.
Dang, he said a Madden curse. Dang.
I look at them like the little. I look at the Kardashians like the little monsters from Space Jam.
Oh yeah,
little monsters from Space Jam. Elmer Fudd to this day still walking behind himself with the guns. I got him. Anyway, guys, let's go ahead and wrap this show up with some final thoughts. Josie, what final thoughts you got?
I think I said it. Kanye was one of the greatest. College Dropout got me through AIT. That was what we woke up to every single morning. All Falls Down is still one of my favorite songs of all time.
Got one of the best vocal runs of all time on there, as for a sample.
Yes.
What is it? I don't know. I can relate to the fact that Kanye came out at a time where I was late graduation was my thing because I graduated late behind everybody. So I kind of related to that a little more. And then College Dropout was like, damn, that's something I actually kind of did. Shit. and then all those expectations, it's like, yeah, you know what? Screw those expectations. It made me more comfortable in being me and just wanting to be. So, yeah, I can say that Kanye kind of represented who I was for a time.
Yeah, that album, I will fight somebody that says that's not one of the greatest albums of the 2000s era. It was just...
Yeah, and then you get into the conversation of 808s and Heartbreak. Because Heartbreak was really
man.
Good. Yeah, that's even... That was the strongest follow-up.
He had a really good run. He did. He had a really good run, and I'll give it to him. Even him and Jay-Z's, God, now I can't think of the name. Sit on the Throne.
Oh, Watch the Throne. Yeah, there you go.
Watch the Throne.
Yep.
So good, so good. And then,
you could put Jay-Z in the conversation that's having some of the best albums too.
Definitely. I mean, Blueprint.
Yeah.
Some of the best, some of the best episodic rap albums of all time.
Yeah. I mean, top 5 lyricists. It's really hard to name, but I would have to give it to Jay-Z, Kanye, old Kanye, Eminem, when you get into 4s and 5s, it gets a little bit difficult because there's like it's not as black and white as those three guys when it was the 2000s. Like those were the guys.
Yeah, those are the guys on everybody's radar now. There's people in the underground you can make consideration for.
I'm just saying it'd be a
when you brought up those
harder
underground guys, you were seen as a weirdo because nobody knew who they were.
Yeah.
So you kept your top 5 to a minimal, and the top 5 is what everybody liked, but you always had your order though. And that order was yours no matter what happened.
Real quick, Will, MIA.
Ah, damn. I hadn't heard that name in a minute.
That's how I end this. And then, Hunter, to you, I say The Killers.
Mr. Brightside is my drinking song. I get a couple in me, and that comes on. I got to sing the whole song. That's just how it is.
Y'all gonna, I can already see I'm gonna be going down the 90s and 2000s rabbit hole of music for the next few days. I can feel it now.
You can be doing that for a few days.
Trust me, I don't know. Let me open my Spotify. Hold up.
You can be doing that for a few days.
I've been listening to a lot of Connor Price and stuff lately, which if you don't know who Connor Price is, Hunter, you ought to go look him up. He's really talented, really gotten popular on Facebook. He speaks.
Yep,
but he makes
2000 playlist. Okay.
Yeah. Geek and I think Geek and I, how you doing?
Mr. Brownstone.
Oh man, he done hit us up. He done hit us up with Mr. Brownstone. Oh, thank you for joining us, Geek and I podcast. We appreciate you, brother. Man, this has been fun.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, if you ever want to talk about just an artist in depth, we can do this again. That shit, I ain't got nothing else doing.
Oh yeah.
When I'm
we definitely just pick one artist and just talk about that one artist all the way through.
Yeah.
Yes. Any final thought from you, Hunter? You want to get out there?
Yeah. My final thoughts is 90s and 2000s music is great, but the thing is, everything comes back as a cycle, and we're starting to see that now. Lyricism is making a return to hip hop, like in its value as something important again.
Where I would say that the 10s to the 20s were a low end in music, and even though there is definitely music out there that I love that I will listen to till I die from that era,
it just don't hit the same.
It just don't hit the same. We are coming back into another golden age, like. Singers and songwriters are starting to make another spike, and like you said, Hunter, you're starting to see the lyricists back in hip hop. You're starting to see a reemergence of R&B, which, like to an extent, during the 2010 era, kind of died. Yeah, like literally went on life support for a while.
Yeah.
Yep, and we're starting to see a return to musicianship and rock.
Yes,
you got a shout out to Tim Henson and Polyphia. You guys are doing the damn thing. Man, look them up. Playing God by Polyphia. Oh my God, that is my final thought. Because if you want to see some white boy magic with the guitar, that is it.
All right, everybody. I want to say thank you for joining us here on a really good podcast. We'll be back again next week to do this all over again. We'll let you know what we talk about. Stay tuned to us on social media, Geek News Now. Check us out on the Geek News Now YouTube channel. We'll be right there for any past episodes. I want to thank everybody for being here with us. We'll see you again next week. For myself, for Josie, for Hunter, we'll see you then. Take care, everyone. Later, guys.
Peace.